No, I just wanted to say on behalf of Women in Business, we're delighted to have everybody online. Thank you so much, Susie, for this great cook-along. I think we're all really looking forward to it. I think from our end too, really, the cooking now from home, cooking from scratch, trying to now restaurants are all closed. I think it's been fairly really apt, that everybody's trying to get their hand into the cooking. So we're really, really pleased to have you. But I just wanted to run through a few things that Women in Business are currently up to and are doing. We've just launched a fantastic June schedule now of webinars and events going on. But further now, we actually have tonight is our In Conversation with the fabulous Pamela Valentine. So that is actually going on through our live Facebook Live. So if everybody can actually want to attend that, and you can actually also join via our website for Zoom. But she's actually going to be joined by great women in business. She's been doing it for the past couple of weeks, and it's a bit of crack and a bit of insight there and good conversation that she's had there. Now tonight she'll be joined with Grania Kelly, the founder and owner of Bubble Bun. Niamh McElhatton is the Sales and Marketing Director for Grafton Recruitment, and also the fabulous Adele Doherty, and she's the founder and director of Beyond Business Travel. So that should be a really good chance to just sit and enjoy great conversation with Pamela. But moving on now, we've got actually a few of our webinars coming up in the 2nd of June. We have actually Resilience with Sarah Travers, which I think will be a really interesting webinar to join, especially now in this time. I think, life sort of throws a few curveballs these days, so resilience is quite prominent going. So 2nd of June is a webinar for our members on that. 4th of June, we actually have Working Well from Home with Vital Nutrition. Again, in these times, I think it's a really good opportunity to have a chance to see how we can improve our well-being and staying healthy really during lockdown. So that's on the 4th of June. And the next one actually that's coming up next week is in the 9th of June, will be how to use LinkedIn to really raise your visibility. And that's actually with the fabulous Louise Brogan, and she will be undertaking the LinkedIn webinar through that. So if you haven't actually already signed up or joined, if you have the time to do it, please go onto our website, our event page, and join some of our forthcoming events online, which would be great. But further ado, I will actually just want to pass you on to Susie. And Susie, over to you.
No problem. I am Suzie Lee Arbuthnot. I'm now kind of trading under Suzie Lee. So if you see that name pop up more, it's just easier to roll off the tongue than the Arbuthnot. So husband is still there. Some people did ask that. He is still about and we're still married, but Suzie Lee makes it a lot easier than Arbuthnot because people look at it and go, what is that? Can't pronounce it. So Suzie Lee. And I won Best Home Cook on BBC One in February, which seems crazy because I filmed that over a year ago. So I had lots to wait, and then I won it, and then lockdown happened. So all my fun stuff came to a halt. But I have this exciting stuff. All the cook-alongs have been great and just keeping me well occupied. And then I just have finished filming my own TV program, which is so exciting, with BBC One again, and it is going to air at the end of June. So it's a 3-part series, and fingers crossed they like it, so I'll get more. So watch this space. Today we are going to make chocolate, white chocolate, well, it's more triple chocolate, raspberry brownies. So very indulgent, but very easy to make. And I've got a few key tips that makes them those really fudgy, really squidgy, gooey brownies, not the dry ones. So if you want them dry, you do cook them for longer. But this is the key to them. So I said to get some butter ready. So it is 150 grams. I have microwaved mine slightly too much, but it is fine. It is fine if it's liquid. So 150 grams of salted butter. If you don't have that, butter with a pinch of salt. We now have a little person joining me as usual. So if you have that ready, get that done. Also, you need 100 grams of dark chocolate melted. So wing that into the microwave, all broken up, for 30 seconds, and then look at it, give it a wee mix because it might have started to melt, and then another 30-second blast, and that should be it. You don't want it fully liquid because it will melt within itself, and if you go another 30 seconds, it might just burn. So that's my key tip. So just keep stirring it when you've blasted it, and then in again, and then it'll still have lumps. and then keep mixing. So if you get to that now, then you have that done and dusted. The other things are a electric whisk if you have it, or just pure elbow grease with a wooden spoon. Then you have a mixture of castor sugar of 125 grams, oh no, 200 grams, sorry, 200 grams, and the 25 grams of brown sugar. I have now added brown sugar after all these years because it gives it a really fudgy texture. People are like, why don't you just keep using castor sugar? You can, but the brown sugar just gives it that extra kind of toffee kind of taste, which I like. Why not add more kind of luxurious taste to it and more indulgent? Then 2 eggs beaten, if you have that, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 90 grams of plain flour, and then 30 grams of cocoa powder. And pretty much that's it. And if you have the white chocolate, or even if you have milk chocolate or chocolate bars, it's really good with cut up chocolate bars like Snickers, Kinder Bueno, anything like that. If you want to be really bad, wing in whatever chocolate bar you have there. Mars bars, they're really good, but better not show these, but I have those in button form. Yep, someone's just spied them now. And then to make it slightly healthy, the raspberries, just to cut through all the chocolate. But yet again, if you don't like them, don't add them in. They're really good without the white chocolate or anything added. So it's just a really good brownie without them. Okay, so has everybody got things ready? Are we ready to go? Yeah, shall I just fly on? Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to carry on. I see Claire there. I think she's getting everything prepared there in the background.
Yeah.
Claire, if you want to put your microphone on at all there, you can. Just if you you're okay. Yeah.
You can talk, it's fine.
And you've got a little assistant there too.
If you wing in all of the sugar, so the 200 grams of castor sugar and the 25 grams of sorry, I've got a crazy person beside me. Yes. Here you go. Here you go. Oh, lovely. It's all squashed. Okay, so just wing that in. Okay, and if you do have your electric whisk, sorry about the noise. Maybe I should mute myself because it'll be quite loud. Unless Neil, if you want to mute me, he'll be super loud. And just whisk this till it's starting to get fluffy. Okay. Oh, if I could turn it on. Modern technology. Bear with me. Okay. It was too noisy for her. Right, so you should have a nice fluffy mixture now. That's only just after about a minute, okay? Then add your eggs. Okay, whisk again. Okay, check on your chocolate. Mine is like that, and you should see there's few wee lumps there, so that's fine. I'm just going to mix it around with a wee spatula, and it will be fully melted in another couple of seconds.
Suzie, just one thing I'm going to suggest, if everyone's watching at the moment and it's all like the grid that you can see everyone, if you go up to the top right, there is a wee button there that you could press speaker view, and then it will show you, larger. So it means that they might be able to see, rather than a wee small, they might see you bigger there. So it's up to how they want to watch, but just a wee tip.
Because nobody wants to speak to me. Anyway, no, stupid. So yeah, so that's now fully mixed, okay? Wing in your vanilla extract, so 2 teaspoons of it. Sorry, I eyeball things now because I'm so used to doing these. So give that a wee whisk before you add in the chocolate. And you'll start to see the mixture turns a slightly different texture, which is great. That's what you're looking for, like that kind of cake batter mixture. Once you add in the chocolate, it'll get even thicker. And that's the start of the gooey kind of process. So just wing it all in. And this is why I use a spatula, so I don't waste any drop of chocolate. All 100 grams to be included. Great. Right, give that another whiz. Have a wooden spoon or another spatula just to scrape down the edges. You want the batter to be fully incorporated, and you don't want obviously flecks of like the white or, you know, the butter kind of colored batter through it. Okay. And at this stage, I would like finish with the whisk and keep with a spatula or a wooden spoon now. So scrape off any excess here. And then now have your sieve ready. And then this is pretty much the very last bit. It is your cocoa powder of 30 grams and 90 grams of plain flour. And we just sieve them in. Would you like some chocolate? Right, 1 second.
And Suzie, are the brownies a favourite of your kids then? Are they your like their favourite of?
Yeah, they absolutely love it because obviously there's chunks of chocolate in it, and it's super gooey. So, oh, thank you for helping.
Oh, you helping, good girl.
This is Odie or Odelia. You say hello.
Hi, Odie.
Not chatter today. So yeah, just fold this in now. So you're wanting to fold it in, and let Mummy do this, please. Okay. And it's quite thick. It's quite a thick mixture. Would you like some chocolate? Okay, that's why you've come here. The wee monkey. Thank goodness they're not attached to anything. There you go. Okay, so just keep mixing it through, and it seems dry, but don't forget you've got melted chocolate there, and once it's heated, that's where that gooey center comes from. I know people have been tempted to add milk and another egg and everything to this. Do not. This is the really thick kind of batter you're looking for. It's really indulgent, but it's pretty good. So that's your brownie mixture. That's it done. You can now tip in your white chocolate through it and mix it through, or else you can be quite strategic and you can pour in the batter into your tin. So you needed like a brownie tin. It doesn't have to be specifically a brownie tin. This is a 20 by 20, but you can use a cake tin. You can make it into into like mini brownies. So use wee cake, you know, the wee bun cases in a muffin tray. But it takes obviously pretty much half the time. But if you have a tin, line it, definitely line it with baking parchment. If you don't, use greaseproof paper, but remember to actually grease it, because greaseproof paper, you need to grease it and it literally sticks to everything if you don't have it greased. Strange thing, but it does. Okay, so I'm gonna fold in some of these, but as I said, you can be very strategic. One more, what do you say? Good. And then just fold it in, or else just place them like chunks of them throughout your batter. Excuse me, let Mummy do this first, and then you can have another. You can have one more. Can you go and give one to Xander? Give one to Xander. No, don't need it. Give one to Xander, please. Yeah, right.
Claire, how are you getting on there? I can see you working away. All going good?
Okay, so
yes, thumbs up.
Fully incorporated. Take your tin and just throw it in. You could have chopped up the white buttons or the bar a lot smaller, but I kind of really like the big bits of melted white chocolate through this. But it's up to you. So it's up to your taste.
Perfect. And Suzie, you had mentioned earlier about that you can literally put in loads of different things like Mars bars and things like that.
So
what's like the best type of ones to use and things?
Anything that's kind of gooey, do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, like the Kinder Bueno is pretty good. You know, Kinder bars are brilliant because they've got such a, because they're more milk and white chocolate, they've got a lower melting point, so therefore they stay gooey.
Okay.
Chocolate orange is amazing in this. So
yeah, I was going to say a Terry's chocolate orange.
Amazing in this. Also, lint balls, you know, those.
Oh, there's Joanna with Terry's chocolate orange.
If you have those lint balls, they're really amazing because they're kind of like wee mini chocolate fondants, you know, that kind of thing. So if you kind of strategically put them in, like say in thirds, you know, that kind of thing. You're not going to lick the spoon just yet. Oh, how awful is this? This is what my children do. This is what happens when you bake so much. Your children are just used to licking a spoon. And there's no control there because I'm still baking and they're like, I'm just going to eat it. So smooth this out right to the corners because this does puff up and you want them as level as you can. Just spread it all the way out to the edges. Okay, so that's just a wee kind of smooth top, and don't worry, there's buttons poking out over the place or whatever you used. It's no problem. I'm just gonna make sure I get all of this done. Okay, then the raspberries. If you want raspberries, no problem. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Here you go. What do you say? Madam. So you can yet again be strategic in how you place them or just scatter them, but I'm going to press them in. Okay, so if you want to see, let me just tilt this down a little bit.
And is it important that they are like joined in, submerged in the chocolate, or can they be above?
Yeah, at least kind of like halfway because the brownie will puff up over them. It's not like completely crucial, but you kind of want it in case that you can really taste the chocolate around it, you know, that kind of thing.
That's great. And then roughly how many brownies will this recipe make them?
For my husband, one. Like 16 really, kind of like, you know, they're really indulgent. They're really quite, not sickening, but you know what I mean, you feel kind of like, oh, one's really with a cup of tea or coffee, and then you feel slightly sick with the other. It's just because they're really rich, but they're really good, and they're great with ice cream, and it's just one of those things, and you can reheat them again, do you know what I mean, to get them melty and gooey again, or I cut them up into wee brownie bites so they're just even kind of smaller. So it's really up to you. You can be very indulgent and obviously have like a quarter of it and all that, but you know, it's up to you. But yeah, super easy. That's it. So this is the thing that people always say, it's kind of really dry. It's about the air that's been trapped in here. So you need to now throw, and sorry, this is going to be noisy, tap this down at least twice. So you're literally throwing it down, and that literally compresses all the air. So you need to do that at least twice, and that literally forces all the air bubbles out, and that is how you get your really fudgy brownies. Otherwise, it just rises like a cake, pretty much, and it will be, have that lovely crusty top, but it'll be kind of cakey, but not that brownie texture that everybody knows. And I've been searching for recipes for ages and ages, and the past 2 years I found like the perfect combination of this, and this for quite a number of people. This is my child, yes, she belongs to me. And that is the key. So literally I'm just going to throw it down another couple of times, so sorry about the noise. And that's it. They're ready to go. Have your oven preheated 180. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say that. Sorry, 180, but it's fine. These are fine to sit for till your oven preheats, because you do want the air to sort of fall out. So 180, and then you want to bake them for, right, the guidelines is usually about 18 minutes to about 25, but I never go past pretty much the 21 mark. You will be able to see it if you have a glass door. You will know when they're kind of ready. but literally about the 18 mark, have a look at them. And then the 20 mark is you're kind of like, right, they're about to come out. That's when I would sort of go, she is covered, completely covered. Her pink t-shirt is covered. Right, okay, take a deep breath. And look at the state of you. Good grief. So anyways, if your oven is preheated, sorry, I should have said that at the very start, put that into the oven now, and within 20 minutes, you'll have the perfect brownies, but don't move them after that. But I'll still be on here chatting. So I'm going to put these in now. Yes, I'm going to change your jumper. Not yet. Don't strip here. Right, let me put my timer on. Right, can you go get your wet wipes, please? No, don't take this off yet. Look, everybody's looking at you. Right, how is everybody else getting on? Are we on that stage, or can't hear anybody? Just wait, you silly monkey. Go get the wet wipes. Go out. There's the wet wipes. Yeah.
So I think I can see Claire there. I think Claire's getting the parchment paper and then putting the mixture and everything in there. So it's getting on well and everything. But I suppose, Suzie, while the brownies in the oven then, if you can tell us a little bit more about obviously the BBC Best Home Cook show. You're the winner of 2020. It was brilliant. How was it all? How did you even get involved, and the whole time scale of it? Because it was over a year ago now that it all was filmed, isn't that right?
So let's just say in October 2018, my goodness, 2018, I went back to work after maternity, and it wasn't that pleasant of an experience. I was trying to do a 3-day week and using up all my holidays, and I had asked, could I go down to 3-day week, and they just said it wasn't possible. So I was just on a bit of a downer, and I was like, right, okay. And like at that stage, I was just like, what else can I do? And previously, a year ago, I had applied, well, a year and a bit ago, I had applied for the Bake Off. So I was reserved, was really fixated on doing something. And I was just kind of like, is that my thing to get out of accountancy or something like that? So I applied for this show that a friend had linked me to, and I was like, right, I'll give it a go. And it seemed like more in line with what I do, because I just don't do baking, I do cooking and home cooking at that. So applied for it, and literally it was the last day, last evening, a couple of hours before it needed to be submitted. So sent it off, and they phoned me 2 days later, and I was like, oh, right, okay, hello. And then just went through the whole process. There was interviews, they came over to taste my food. I had to bring cold, savoury and sweet, and it was just a strange kind of interview process, because they filmed you for 15 minutes just chatting, but you had to stand really straight and tall and not move, but like really look engaged. And I was like, right, okay, this is a bit strange. And then I didn't hear back from them for ages, but they were actually just trying to sort of, because it was around Christmas or near Christmas, and they didn't want obviously me flying over at that time, but they said, oh no, we're really sorry, could you come on the 7th of January? So flew over to London, and literally had from 7 a.m. to I think 12 was in an interview process, but cooking pretty much live in a cookery school. So technically the three stages in each competition that you saw, and then had an interview. With one of the producers, and when I came out, because there was like 5 of us at each go, that kind of thing, and then when I came out, where's everybody? They're like, they've left. I was just like, but I thought it was only like, half an hour, and they're like, no, you were in there for an hour and a half. I was like, oh, right, okay, that's how much I talked. But anyway, so that was history then from then, and then they started filming on the very first week of March. And I was there for, well, back and forth for full kind of 5-6 weeks. It was crazy. It was really, really crazy, but it was great as well. But these ones were used to being in nursery, so they didn't really know I was home on the weekends. So it wasn't that different. And then, yeah, just every stage I didn't really think I was going to get that far. I wanted to get to cake week because I love making cakes, and I just, not that I didn't give up, sorry. I just sort of had no expectation. So each week I was super surprised, and because my competition was really fierce and they're really skilled. So I was kind of like, yeah, whatever, I'm just going to enjoy this. And the closer I got, I was kind of like, oh my goodness, this this is actually happening. And yeah, it was really strange because I mean, the semi-final to the final, like everybody's like, why did you not look happy to get announced that you're going into the final? I was like, because the enormity of that, you know, it was, you know, to then be in the final. Like people are like, oh, but that's great. I said, I know it's great, but I have to perform then. You know, I'm just, you know, if I'm going to get there, I should have really practiced more, you know what I mean? But I had no time. Everybody was really close, well, not closer home, but they were in the same country at the flat, which cut out like hours of cooking time, whereas people were back home within about 2 hours within traveling, whereas I had to fly and like get home physically and sit in airports. But yeah, so yeah, the rest is pretty much history. And
what about, obviously, I think one thing with the show is the judges are so well known. They're really, really renowned chefs, cooks, and everyone, like obviously Mary Berry and Angela Harnett and all. Like, were you really, did you know they were going to be the judges beforehand? And, you know, were they friendly and helpful, or were they a bit scary at times?
Yeah, so like the judges like knew, but there was obviously season 1 which didn't go that well. And so that's why I was really kind of like, oh, do I want to apply for this? But when I was speaking to the team, they're like, no, the money has been thrown at this program. It's going to be glossy. It's going to be completely, you know, and they've secured a really good slot for it. And they really did. Like, you know, 8 o'clock on like Thursday evening is pretty prime time. So they said, no, the money's been thrown at it, you know, and also the other judge had been kicked out because he was bad. So then they got Angela Hartnett, which was just amazing. Do you know what I mean? To get a Michelin star chef on, I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I love her. I think she's amazing. So yeah, it was kind of a bit scary to think I was up against Mary Berry because obviously Bake Off, I loved her on that. So it was crazy to think, right, well, I'm going to get to meet her. And Claudia Limpman, I love, and everybody should love. She is actually genuinely such a nice lady, and she remembers your, like, obviously your name, but never mind your whole family. Like if you've told her something, she will follow on with that story and just go, how was Xander? And you know, you said he was starting this, how did he get on this week? And you're like, whoa, you didn't need to remember that or know that or even keep that in your brain, but she did. And she was just really, really lovely. All of them were. Angela Hartnett has a really wicked sense of humor, but great, really sarcastic, really Northern Irish kind of like one-liners, and walks off and you're like, she was having fun with me. She was having the banter and you're like, whoa. But yeah, she was really cool. And Mary Berry, such a lady, but don't get on the wrong side of her. Really nice, but just, you know, she knows her stuff. Don't try to BS her in any shape or form. She just is really sharp, but really nice.
Suzie, what about, did you have a chance to keep in touch with many of the competitors or anything?
Yeah,
or?
All of them. They're
really I'm sure you struck up great friendships.
Yeah, and like they're all doing really great things. Like all of them had their own way. I think that's why for me it was like not that I didn't feel there was competition, but anybody could have won because everybody had such a different niche or different type of cooking style. So you never felt, oh, they're replicating exactly what I'm doing or that's the style. So therefore it wasn't like the judges were thinking, oh, need to eliminate one of them. So just really great bunch, and I learned loads from them, and I still, you know, if they're making something, I'd post them, I'm like, whoa, how'd you make that? And like we'll be chatting to each other, whether it's on text or Instagram or something like that. So it's been really nice because it was really nice kind of support network as well, because they went through that with me, because obviously hubby didn't really understand what was happening. You know, I was flying in and out and I couldn't tell him many specifics. So you're kind of like going, oh, what am I going to do here? But luckily they were there, and then we can chat through bits and pieces. You remember that time. So it's been really nice that way, and they're a good bunch of people.
I suppose also they were probably the only people you could chat about the show to, because you had to keep it secret for what, nearly a year, or was a year, that you couldn't tell anyone, because we're friends and I know a lot of other people that know you, and no one had a clue if you had won, and everyone, we were all tuning in every week to see. And then it was all the way to the final. And it's like, oh, I think she's going to win, but no one actually knew.
I know, and like anybody who knows me, like I'm biggest like chatterbox ever. You know, for me to keep that a secret was really hard, but like completely had to just shut that down. So yeah, it was really hard for me. And people are like, how did you not spill the beans? It's like, you should have seen the contract. The contract was really scary. The non-disclosure was something else. It's like, okay, fine. And it was just like about lawsuits and everything. I was just like, right, okay, I'll just not mention to anybody. So then obviously hubby I just didn't even talk to you about. You know, there's just certain things, like it was a bad week or a good week or whatever, and that was about it. But anything else I couldn't say, and it was really tough. And even winning it, I literally got to the airport at Heathrow with a gigantic bunch of flowers, and people thought I was crazy, obviously, carting this bunch of flowers. So I was like, I was not letting them go, because I was like, I'm not leaving this bunch of flowers here. And like, I had nothing, nobody to celebrate with. It was kind of like, oh, that's it. You know, literally 6 people in my whole life knew, you know, because Stevie's parents had to know, just with help with childcare. And one of my siblings knew at that stage, you know, and like that's big for me. I share a lot, like my siblings and I are really close, so it was really hard. So my hubby did think I was just like going really loopy, because I was then really down for like months after. He's like, snap out of it, you know you won. I was like, but I can't tell anybody. So yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster for the past year, and then I had to flip and get straight back out and work, because I had no money, because I was self-employed at that stage. Yeah, just that story. I literally got onto the show, and I'd already handed up in my notice knowing I was on the show. I just couldn't take it. I was just like, that's it. I can't, because like they weren't going to even allow me to do that. I was just like, oh, fine. So was just going to take a deep breath and just jump in and go, right, let's try self-employment as an accountant. And I knew there was work out there, but I didn't know how much. But I was just like, and my husband was just like, you're miserable, you might as well just go, to just stop being miserable, that kind of thing. I was like, right, okay. So 31st of January happened, and that's when I literally left, and that's when they phoned to confirm. So it was 31st of January, end of tax season, got the phone call, best day ever.
Good stuff, excellent. Claire, how did you, are you in the brownies in the oven and all then?
Yeah.
All good, good stuff. Good. I suppose a little bit more on, I always remember the show was week 1. And, you know, you certainly started with a bang anyway. Have you still got a scar on your hand from?
Yeah, like if you can see, this is, yeah, that's it there. So there's a line here. So literally that's still numb, completely numb. So if I run my finger on it, it's completely numb. I went right pretty much through, you know, that kind of thing, as gross as that is. But we were still filming. So like 6 hours later, we were still in the studio, and it just wouldn't stop bleeding. And I was like, guys, I really, really think I need to go to the hospital, even though the paramedic was there. And he had super glue and everything, and he said, no, it's not deep enough, but it was bleeding so much he really couldn't see in it. That kind of thing. I was like, oh, okay, you know, that kind of thing was, he's meant to know best. But when I got to hospital, they're like, why was this not glued, or why did you not come sooner? Because if you leave it like a 3-hour window, it's your skin changes and you can't stitch it. And I was just like, because I was told. So then literally the whole week it just kept opening. So I kept going back to hospital to get it super glued. So that was really good fun. But do you know what? It's a scar that will live with me forever, and it's really memorable. But yeah, no, first week was just a disaster with that, with not turning the oven on, with, oh my goodness, there were so many disasters.
That's right, I forgot about that bit too.
There were so many disasters, which funny now, but that week it was one of those kind of like, I'm going home. I'm completely going home. But I did think of my feet and sort of serve them the best bits. And I know my cakes are nice, you know, that kind of thing. So it was just like, thank goodness I cut them the right bits, and I made it look as nice as I could. And I was saved. So yeah, it was one of those really rocky moments. Just like, yeah, that's me, gone.
Well, you certainly turned it around anyway to get to the final and to win and everything. I suppose actually, because we've been in touch quite a bit, you know, about getting today set up, but you've been so busy. Can you tell us all the things you have been doing, what you've got coming up and everything? Because you really don't stop, sure you don't?
No, I don't. So finished filming another program for BBC One called Suzie Lee's Home Cook Heroes. So there's going to be 3 families who are featuring in this cooking my recipes. So 3 different themed episodes with a lovely dessert at the end of each one. And then that's just been finished, so they're hoping to air that at the end of June, so super excited about that. And then having had 3 weeks of craziness and not really doing my cook-alongs, tomorrow I'm back in here, obviously cooking along with Roy Best and his little daughter. So making beef sausage rolls, and then next week I've got Annette Kelly from Little Penny Thoughts. We're making granola bars, and then the following on that same week, next Friday, I've got Jacob Stockdale doing chicken satay. So that's that for another. I've got more people lined up, but too much information. But yeah, no, I've got loads of things lined up now, which is great. Was meant to have quite a few food shows in London, but those have been cancelled, obviously. So I'm really gutted about that. But you know what? Things happen for a reason, and this big pause, as people are calling, has been really good for me to reflect as well. Neil knows me, I am a person who goes at 100 miles an hour. I have about 100 things at once in a day, and I did feel a wee bit kind of overwhelmed by it all, but I just kept powering through. But having to sit at home with my children and with my husband, which is really hard thing to do, because you don't usually see each other this much. You just don't. That's why there's like a housewife or a house husband, as traditional as that seems. You know, it's not meant to be husband and housewife together. Should not work like that, because you're going to kill each other. But he thinks it's wonderful. He is a teacher and he's away timetabling at school today. But yeah, so for me, it's kind of made me think, do you know what? I didn't need to do all of those things. And half of the stuff was to, you know, please other people, in the sense that yeah, I'll do that for you, I'll go help you do that, and yeah, that's fine. I'm a person who finds it hard to say no. I'm part of a lot of like charities, and I'm treasurer for a couple of charities and stuff like that, and I now know that I need to scale back, take away one of those, because it's really all consuming, and trying to be a mummy, trying to be a wife, trying to be me, trying to be, you know, employed, that has been a real conundrum for me. So now having my accountancy work pretty much pared back to like 10%, because I go out to train people for accountancy and businesses and help them fix things in their systems, has been really kind of like, right, that I love and I want to do. This cooking thing has come at the most perfect time, genuinely, like with the BBC stuff. It's kind of now kind of refreshing, and kind of now makes me think, no, I do want to do the cooking. And it has been a passion of mine for years. But my mummy passed away when I was 16, and just didn't go to cookery school, didn't do that, got my education. And it's been a really tough time. And like, I've had lows and really just don't know what to do. And people are like, oh, you're so lucky, you know, yes, I have a family and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, someone who goes so fast and then to have everything stop, it was really hard for me to deal with. I literally didn't know whether it was coming or going. Hold on a second. What's wrong, sweetheart? Great. I can't wait for the second choice to come out. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Look at the state of your face. I've got another chocolate face here. But yeah, no, and that's where I think I have now realised, you know, it's important to exercise. Like I have always exercised, but I kind of stopped. My husband said, you really need to exercise. And what's he to tell me? That kind of thing. But I think I had to hit the low to kind of realise, yeah, okay, get back out there, get, you know, fit again. And yeah, so yeah, it's been tough, but also just to chat and having the Zooms and all that kind of stuff, and now being able to do the social distancing meets and stuff has been super. So have been sitting in cars with friends, you know, one part here, one part there, with your coffee in a takeaway cup, has been really nice, and just bringing a little bit of normality back to it. We won't be normal for months, if not next year, you know, for businesses, for everything. But to know that you can carry on this new norm, for me, is kind of like, right, I can do this.
Yeah.
It works well, actually, there. So, you know, with it being lockdown, I think a lot of people have actually turned their hand to getting back and opening the cookbooks and, you know, cooking from scratch again. Have you found that you've been very helpful with a lot of people in that? Yeah,
absolutely. It's been such a lovely experience, because I've always cooked like this, and then for people to message me and go, you have really helped me and inspired me and made me not scared, because people are there, I would have given up at that stage, because I would always say, just keep going. Or if it looks like this, it's okay, you can do this to make it, you know, right again. And I didn't realize that, obviously I've been lucky that I had this set of skills, but that people kind of just panic because they think they're not good enough. It's that confidence thing, and it's just like, if I can give them the confidence to do that, super. Just even change one dish or cook. Sorry, naked baby here. Just cook something that they've always wanted to. Like, even like I've done a quick cheat ice cream, which is literally condensed milk and whipping cream or double cream. And they, like, the amount of people are just like, I would never have tried this, and now I can say I've made my own ice cream. Just something as simple as that has been lovely. And there's been so many people who've said the roast chicken dinner, which won the show, I have it up on the BBC website. People said they're not going back to any other roast chicken recipe ever again, which for me, it really, like, it's humbling. It's amazing to like my recipes. You know, we can say, you know, someone's following my recipe across the world. I've so many like Americans and New Zealanders now messaging me going, I've just tried this recipe. So it's like, whoa, that is amazing. Like, I never thought I would get that reach.
Exactly. And actually there was a question, or it came in the chat there, just from Joanna, who's on there, and just saying, how do people see your cook-alongs? So you're on social media, you're on Facebook and Instagram, isn't that right, Suzie? That's the best place to see the cook-alongs?
Yeah, so on Instagram, I am on Suzie Cooking the Books. So that's my Instagram handle. And then on Facebook, it's Suzie Lee Cooks. And then on, oh lovely, I'm getting chocolate rubbed into my shoulder. And then on YouTube, it's Suzie Lee Cooks as well. Oh, lovely. Thank goodness these things can wash. But yeah, so those are my 3 things at the moment. And yes, so that's how you would find me. So there's YouTube videos that go up, well, they were weekly. I had to pause there, but I've got a triple cook chips one up there, which is great. Yet again, more people have said, I never knew triple cook chips was not deep frying them 3 times. I was just like, oh, see, yet again, I didn't expect that, but boiled, fried, and then baked. And that's how you get that super crunchy, fluffy potato. But yeah, no, it's been crazy because I never thought I would embrace the social media world. I am pretty much a dinosaur, but husband has helped me with that. But it's yet again, it's something that I never thought a set of skills that I would develop. I'm now using and, you know, pushing forward. I am a people person, as you can tell. I talk so much, but who says you can't do it virtually? But yeah, it's been strange. It really has been strange. But knowing that this is a new norm and being able to do it, because I think that's what I really doubted myself in that, but it's fine. It's just yet again embracing, getting the confidence and going, I can do this. And yeah, it's kind of like, okay, I now know I need to vlog every day. I was not that person. Any photos, there's not hardly any photos of me around my house or anywhere because I just don't like being in front of the camera. But my husband's like, you put yourself in front of the camera on TV, you know, for the whole world to see. And I was like, okay, fair enough. So he goes, suck it up and do it. So yeah, it's been it's been new.
Suzie, you've had a really great inspiration because so many of our members, you know, are entrepreneurs or maybe women who are wanting to try and start up their own businesses and things too, you know, are already on that that curve. Have you any advice or anything that you could give them?
Yeah, well, literally just do it. Make sure you've got obviously your ducks in a row. Financially, that's your biggest thing. Make sure whether it's yourself, you have enough to fall back on, look at your funds and like that you can sustain yourself for even like 6 months. I know it sounds really silly, but look at your overheads, look at that. And that's your base costs of your fixed costs of knowing that I need to have rent, I need to have your electric, whatever you need there, or your fees. You know, that's massive for some people. If you are based at home, it's your fees to be professional. For me, you know, it's at least £1,000 to be able to even start anything. So just as long as you know you have that set aside, then everything else is just, it's off your own back, but be confident. If you have a product that you can sell, such as yourself or the set of skills, then go for it. Don't think that you're not good enough, because there's another thousands of people out there doing the same thing, maybe not as good as you. So just think, well, if they're doing it, then I can do it. And that's where I really, in January, I was just like, I can do this, I can do this. Because you see people, well, for account size, not doing good jobs, you're like, I can do that. I can take that job. Sander, just wait for 1 second, and just knowing that it's just about confidence, and it's just that little bit of just belief. Have self-belief in yourself. And it took me years to think I could do this myself, because that's why I've been employed forever. People are like, you could have done this ages ago. Yes, I could have, but I just didn't have the confidence. I didn't think I was good enough. But after everything, I was just like, do you know what? I only live once. These ones are still young, and it's a good time to do it, in the sense that they won't remember if mommy was, you know, not happy or whatever, or dealing with this, you know. I could be doing accounts now, but no, I'm enjoying this stuff. Sander, look at the state of your face. I have now 2 chocolate faces. But yes, just go for it, people. Do not be afraid of yourself, and just know that you're better than the next person. You really are, and just dive in. You know, just do it.
Oh, that's great. It's good advice there, Susie, definitely.
So my brownies are out. So your last thing to do is tap them again. So tap them twice again to throw out any other air that's popped in. So you will have a nice glossy top to them. And watch your fingers. And literally you're just slamming them to throw out any other air. And that's them. So literally wait for about 20 to 30 minutes till they're kind of cool, but you can just dig in with a spoon. But if you want to be able to cut them, just wait for about 20 to 30 minutes for them to cool, or shove them outside to get some cold air around them. But there you go, super easy, and I hope you guys really enjoyed that.
That's brilliant, Susie. Thanks so much. And I think we were saying earlier, to anyone that has been baking along or is going to bake these this evening or anything, please do take a picture and tag in Women in Business on Twitter, Facebook, or wherever you're going to post them. And we'll make sure that we can see the pictures, and we'll share them, and we'll make sure you get to see what everyone has created at home and everything. What we'll also do, Susie, is we'll send just to everyone that's attended your social media details, just so they can then make sure that they can follow your next cook-along, which is tomorrow with Rory Best.
Yeah.
So that would be great too. But I think that's really, you know, us all done now. So I think you've done a brilliant job. Thank you very much.
No problem at all. Well, thank you.
Thanks so much, Susie.
Yes, thank you, Susie. That was great, really great.
My children, as they always bring the entertainment value to this. This is real.
Always entertainment. Children and animals.
Yeah. And I have both. You say bye-bye? Yeah.
Oh.
You say see you soon?
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Susie.
Thanks, everybody. That was great. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.